Do you recognize this? How about this? This is my personal game of choice. And just looking at that and thinking about, well, that might be fun to pull out my phone and start playing that game right now. It's called Fish Time. It's kind of mentally relaxing for me. But I might think about all the time that I have spent on my phone playing games, doing Wordle, playing Fish Time. It makes me wonder all the time that I have lost. And it makes me wonder about what I might have been accomplishing at that time, other than spending time scrolling through, specifically on my phone. As an AP US history teacher, I have the light to teach some incredible people. Some people that are here tonight. And I kind of feel like maybe I'm speaking to the wrong audience, because I feel like the students that are here tonight are often like these students. Really heavily engaged, asking great questions, being curious, trying to make the most out of their education. Oftentimes, though, I have in classes students who maybe are so engaged. Maybe they're looking at their phone, maybe they're looking at their computer, maybe they're playing a game or watching a literal game on their computer. Maybe they're trying to get work done for other classes as much as they possibly can during my class. And as I reflect on both of those groups, I strongly believe that they both want to get something out of their education. I believe that both groups, whether it's the group that is more heavily engaged or the group that is maybe a little bit more forward, if they're in an AP US history class, the end goal for them is to try to get to college. And I think that they both believe that they're on the right path. They're taking an AP level course, they're engaged in their classes to a certain extent. Both groups know how to make the most in terms of trying to get that all-important A, that solid grade. But as I reflect on both groups, I think about how much more that first group, the ones that are engaged, the ones that are asking questions, the ones that are sitting up front and really driving discussion, are getting more out of their whole education than just the all-important A. When I think specifically about the role of education, I sometimes get discouraged when I'm minding students are distracted. I love my job. I think teaching history for me is the perfect job. I get to talk about history all day. I get to help students develop thinking skills. And I also think that teaching history, while I assume that most of my students may not become historians, is still incredibly important because it makes them reflect and think fast on mistakes that have been made in the past and also successes that have been major accomplishments in the past. Makes them wrestle with our past. They are the future. Students are the future. And I hope that by wrestling with history, they hope to make better decisions for all of us in the future. Those students that are engaged are, in a way, kind of my model student. They know how to make the most out of their education. Now, to be honest, it's been a long time since I have been in high school. I graduated from Grutter High School in 1990, and I remember, although it's been a long time, sitting in 7 classes a day with 7 different teachers, 7 different sets of classroom expectations, 7 different teaching styles. It's a lot. By the time you get to the end of the day, the student might be completely burned out and overwhelmed by all the things that they have to do. As a student myself, I had my favorite classes. I specifically loved my world history class, AP biology, and AP psychology. Those were probably my 3 favorite classes in high school. And if I'm being 100% honest, while I put a lot of effort in all of those classes, thank you. While I put a lot of effort into all of those classes, the 3 that I mentioned, for most of the rest of the classes, I did what I needed to do to get by, to get a decent grade. I didn't necessarily take advantage of the full education that was given me. And as I reflect back on that, I wonder if I had been that kid sitting up front asking questions, if I had been that kid who really put in a lot of effort into getting the most out of my specific education, where might that have taken me? Would I maybe have gotten into a more prestigious college? Would I have been more confident in my decisions about the classes that I took when I was in college? Would I have been more confident in asking questions when I was in college and maybe taking more risks? Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like I ended up in the perfect place for me. I love teaching. I love history. I think this job plays to my perfect strengths. But I just wonder about maybe other opportunities that may not have been done to me. So what exactly can help you if you're a high school student? What can help you if you're at the end of a long day, you're in the 7th period, you've had all kinds of expectations given to you throughout the day? What can help you, drive you to make the most out of your education? Well, I think just reflecting on these particular questions. Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of your education? How can your education help you further your passions and your goals? If you think about what is the overall purpose while you're in high school, then I think that that's really going to help you. High school flies by. I don't know about you, but elementary school, kindergarten through 5th grade seems like it's a really long time. And then you get to middle school, and if you think about your 3 years in middle school, it seems like they're over in a flash. And believe me, by the time you get to your senior year in high school, it's also going to be a wonder as to how you got there so fast. So while you're here, think about what do you want to get out of all of your classes. The students that are the most curious, I feel like, believe that every class, even though it may not be their number one interest or passion, they feel like every class has something specifically to offer them. And this makes me think of a graduation speech that Viola Davis gave in 2012. I think she must have shocked her audience when she told them that even though they were graduating from college, that was not an important day in their life. She went on to say, you see, the 2 most important days in your life are the day that you were born and the day that you discover why you were born. Now, I've only been able to slay dragons when I've kept these 2 important facts so sharp focus, because at some point in life, it will indeed suck. Loss of a loved one, health issues, marriage, children, loss of passion, the discovery of what you thought you wanted in life and you don't. You veer off course. But all the while, that purpose, that thing that you were specifically and divinely made for, will be moving in front of you. This speech makes me think about if you know what you're interested in, if you know what you're passionate about, if you know maybe the direction that you want to take your life in, then that's going to make your education a whole lot more important specifically for you. It gives you a focus as to why you're here and what you want to get out of it. When you go on to college and you further that education, you're going to be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. Why do that? I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't. I think that college and going to a university or a college is one of the most important investments that you'll make in yourself for the rest of your life. But if you have a real understanding as to what you want to get out of that education, then you're going to make a whole lot more out of it than just going specifically to go. And if you think about what you're passionate about, what you were born to do, what you are most interested in, and what you like doing to help other people, then that's going to make your education a whole lot more important. You as a person are greater than just a diploma and just a transcript. Your education should reflect that. And overall, driving back to this specific idea of education, be that person that sits up front. Ask questions. If you're not interested in a particular class, feign interest. Ask questions that make the full class more interesting and the discussions that are being happening in the class more interesting. It makes it more interesting, not just for you and not just for your teacher, but the full class. I think all students can kind of recognize when there's that type of environment in a classroom, in an environment where students just seem to be there just to get grades. You as an individual are a full person, and you're worth a whole lot more than just your transcript. Your education can help you achieve what you were meant to do and what your passions are.